perimeter campuses. Today I wanted to lead you through an art technique that can help you calm the mind. In our video today, we're going to learn the steps to create a mandala. A mandala is essentially a set of concentric circles with repeating patterns, and that repeating pattern can really soothe us, which is something we really need while we're sheltering in place right now. To give you a better image of what a mandala is, think about what you might see on the cover of an adult coloring book in the store. Those, however, are created by professionals or by computers. They're very precise, they're focused on perfection, and that's not what we're going to work on today. The skills I really want us to focus on and embrace are exploring and experimenting and just seeing where our creativity leads us, and really building the ability to accept and tolerate mistakes and imperfections. Life isn't perfect, and certainly now, while we're dealing with all the changes in our lives to COVID-19, this is a time for us to really practice a new skill. In just a moment, I'll show you all the steps that we need to take, but first I just want to let you know I'm not an artist. I was somebody who was told in art school or in art class that my drawings just aren't that good. So if you're like me and you're not a great artist, but you enjoy the process of making art, you enjoy how it makes you feel, then this technique is for you. You might be one of those people who's really talented at making art, and this technique is for you too. Yours is just going to look better than mine. So let's get started. The only materials that you really need are a piece of paper, really only just a pencil or a pen, and if you're sheltering in place and that's all you have, please don't go out to the store to get anything else. But if you happen to have things like colored pencils in your home, or markers, or crayons, those could work too. Because we're doing the COVID-19 version, I am reusing some paper, and I encourage you to do the same. So to create a mandala, there's not really a right or a wrong way to do it, but an important first step is creating our circle. Like I mentioned before, a professional mandala will have a compass and a perfect circle. Sometimes I start my mandalas just by tracing a circle. Today though, I really want us to focus on accepting imperfections and going with the flow. So I'm going to freehand a circle. If that's too much of a challenge for you today, that's fine. Just accept it. We don't have to judge. And so in that vein, please don't judge my circle. I like to start with a small circle so that I have more space to expand. And after you get your circle started, it's time to start adding the repeating patterns. These can be any types of shapes. I tend to have the same ones that I use over and over. But I'm really fortunate to work with all of you students because you guys often give me ideas of what else to add. So if you're watching this and you've made a mandala with me, just know that I'm probably going to integrate some of what you've shown me in the past. It can be helpful to start by going to the outside of your circle next, but a lot of times I personally like to focus on going to the inside. There's not a right way or a wrong way. You don't have to do it like me. My go-to shapes are bubbles, triangles, stripes, and whatever these little doohickeys are called. So we start just by getting the first pattern together. Again, you don't have to start at the beginning or in the center like I have. So I'm just kind of playing and experimenting. Who knows what this is really going to come out like. Sometimes I pick colors that go really well together, and sometimes I don't. And in the end, it is what it is, and it is okay. Now that I've created that layer, I'm going to go next to my second layer and just start, like I said, I really enjoy triangles. And now I'm using a different material just to give you an idea of how the different things might look if you're fortunate enough to have a lot of options right now. Mandalas have a really long history. In a lot of different cultures, they have great significance. They're not just for decoration. They're not just for fun. They have spiritual meaning. They have significant import besides just being pleasing to look at. A lot of cultures, though, use mandalas for meditation, and that is because allowing yourself to focus on the art as you create it and just thinking through what color you want to do next, what pattern you want to do next, maybe even recognizing the feel of the material you're using on the paper. That allows you to keep your focus on the here and the now in the art, rather than allowing your mind to drift to mistakes you may have made in the past, things that are upsetting you. If it happened in the past, you really can't change it. It allows you to focus on the here and now rather than starting to worry about, you know, are you going to be able to take your LSAT or your GRE now that you can't graduate on time, maybe, or you can't walk through graduation? How is that going to affect the next phase of your life? Those things will all work out. We're all figuring out what the next steps are going to be. We're figuring out how to take care of each other. And so as you find your mind wandering, just bring it back to the shapes. And as you can see, I'm layering out. I started here, some triangles, now I'm adding a circle. There's no right way or wrong way. Please notice that it's not necessarily symmetrical. Notice I've got mistakes. Notice that sometimes these colors clash, and that's okay. This is a really calming thing for me to be doing right now. This is a really basic, small, simple one, and the next step is, if you're in the mood, to color it in and give it some design. Maybe you want to focus on shading. If you have colored pencils, you can focus on making dark or light contrast. And actually, in times of stress, colored pencils are one of the best art materials you can use because you have so much control. There's this nice fine point, and you can really make a contrast in shade. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I press down hard, I get the dark, and you can contrast it to the light. So much of our world right now feels out of control, and allowing yourself a few moments to focus on what you can control, like whether you study, what time you go to bed, what time you wake up, what you eat, whether you choose to get some exercise, or whether you choose to make art and how you choose to do it. Those are ways that you can cope with the disappointments, the frustrations, the fear that a lot of us are feeling right now. So I'm going to leave you to it. You can make yours as big as the page. You can keep yours small. It can be a pencil, it can be a pen, it can be markers, just whatever you need to calm your mind. Be well so that you can do well.